So our Chief Minister believes in two-pronged strategy for hitting at poverty. One is, of course, increasing the income, providing them livelihood options, getting investments, getting industries. The other way is to cut down on the expenditure front. In expenditure, he has selected two areas which basically hits the poor. One is education, another one is health. In education, he is transforming the entire public institutions which are providing education, making it aspirational, using technology to the hilt. He wants the expenses what a poor parent will spend on education for their kids to come down. So he wanted to transform the public education institutions across the state. We took high school level as the intervention point, and perhaps we are the only state in the country to have transformed all the high schools and shifted all blackboards to smart boards. Modern science lab, smart boards. We have a curriculum which can be ran from the central control room, and you have e-classrooms all over. The kids get knowledge access. Physical access was a problem, but thanks to the fiber and thanks to technology, we are able to provide knowledge access without any problem of economic access.
Did the private sector do the connectivity, or did you have to do that?
We have done the connectivity. These are all government schools.
When you improve the high schools, do you see people shift from private,
30%
what Americans call private high school,
30%.
to public? Okay.
Absolutely, 30%, immediate.
Okay.
And children who wanted to go to private schools, they want to continue in government schools now because of the transformation which they have seen in the government schools.
Okay, so before at the high school level, private would have been bigger than public, or what was the share of for high school of public versus private before and after?
At any point of time, 80% of the students are dependent on government schools. Only 20% of the kids were dependent on private schools.
Because it's hard to afford.
Hard to afford. So the chief minister wanted that if state has to move forward, these 80% kids who are dependent on government school should have knowledge access. So he used technology, he used smart classes to provide that knowledge access. Not only smart classrooms, but also he converted the entire ecosystem to make the kids to think big, be aspirational, to achieve bigger things. He basically used this as a tool to improve their self-confidence. In addition to increasing the access to knowledge, he also improved the self-confidence of these government school kids.
But what about the quality of the teachers? Did you have to sort out the better teachers, or how did you do that?
So what we did, we found out who are the best teachers available in the system. We re-engineered the curriculum using these best teachers and used smart classrooms to provide e-learning. Some teachers will be very good in the subject, but they won't be able to present it in such a way that the kids will be able to understand. So those things are taken care by standardizing the presentation format as well. So the content is modified to make it competitive, attractive for the kids, and the presentation also we have taken care.
But did you have problems with teachers who weren't well trained or not showing up, and did you have to be tough on that, or not a problem?
Actually, using incentives, we could motivate them to upgrade their skills.
So not much turnover in the process?
No, not much turnover.
Okay.
Our chief minister believes in taking the team along to a great extent. You motivate, you incentivize. In fact, we are spending about 150 crores just on incentives to teachers who are doing well and schools who are doing well. And in this whole process of school transformation, we involve the community to a great extent. Alumni never had a platform to contribute to the schools. Some of them are doing well, some of them are well placed. So we provided from government a technology platform by which the alumni can enroll himself and be part of this transformation process. Say, for example, he contributes $1, the government contributes $2.
I see.
Yeah, 1:2.
So it's partly financial.
Yes.
Okay.
Not only financial, if a alumni wants to take career counseling classes for the kids.
Okay, so they can volunteer.
Yeah, from the states they can do it because you have digital classrooms now. From there he connects and he takes the classroom for the kids. They'll get inspired. Okay, from our village somebody is working in New York, and he comes and talks to us for 15 minutes every week. So they get inspired. So this entire intervention of school transformation, we can see from two angles. One is that it reduces the burden on the parents, poor parents. Their out of the box expenditure comes down. And number two, you make these kids really aspirational using technology. That knowledge access, the barriers in knowledge access, we could successfully reduce it using technology. So now we are introducing at college level a smart card for the students who are in government colleges and also semi-aided colleges. This smart card, what it is going to do, we are going to study the entire ecosystem, education ecosystem, and see how this card, this smart card, he can use it to cross-subsidize his needs. Like for example, he has to get books, he has to get online access to literature, he has to get career counseling, he can learn spoken English, whatever is required to make that graduate a better competitive person. Through this card we are planning to intervene. And how the person recharges this card? He can recharge this card by doing activities which will help him. For example, he does extracurricular activities, sports, games, he gets some points. He does community activity, he gets some points. He learns artificial intelligence in online courses which we'll provide, he gets some points. He learns yoga, he gets points. Like that, we will have a set of activities which will help that person for overall development, make that kid competitive, make that kid competent, confident. It helps in the career of the child finally. Not only it helps in career, but also we would have done little bit of character building at a very crucial age. So this is a card which we call it as the new Odisha card. Odisha will be celebrating 100 years of Odisha in next 12 years. So our Chief Minister wants all the kids to be competitive, at the same time compassionate. So this is a card which will be like a magical card, as you suggested that maybe instead of a physical card, we'll also introduce a virtual card, because this also helps in poverty. This also makes kids aspirational, and it has a huge technology backbone. We will map each kid as to what he or she is doing, on what we are doing in transforming education. In case of health, he has gone for a near universal health coverage without involving a private insurance company. We had very bad experience, not so great experience when we involve private companies which are into insurance business, because when insurance companies are involved, they try to cut costs, and that hits the poor. They don't have the voice to go and get their claim settled. So the Chief Minister decided we won't go for an insurance model, whereas we'll go for an assurance model, where there will be a trust. The trust pays directly to the hospitals which are empaneled and who are giving services under this health assurance scheme. 90% of the population is covered. And why we selected this ₹500,000 as the base? Because we did a study and we found out on an average, a family may need up to 5 lakh rupees or ₹500,000 per year for meeting their health expenditure. And why we gave extra ₹500,000 for women is that in some places we noticed that when the card has a limitation for family members, then the male members are treated first and the female members have to wait. So to give security to women, this gender component was introduced by our Chief Minister, because of which women also will have easy access to health.
And how are the prices? I mean, a lot of the services are provided by the private sector.
Yes.
And how do you set the price that the government pays to those private providers? Do you have a list price? Or?
Yes. We have 500 packages, which covers almost 90% of the diseases and ailments. And we have standardized the cost, and we give a profit to the private so that they don't cut corners to dilute the treatment or compromise on the treatment. So the private sector is happy. Earlier, the private investment in health was not so forthcoming. Now, with this intervention, the private investment is coming. And where all we use technology, we use AI to detect frauds in bill claiming. And we have already started detecting. Wherever there is a problem, we detect. Another important intervention which we are planning to do through technology AI is, we have a huge database of health of the people of the state. We'll be able to note which part of Odisha suffers from which ailments and what are the preventive measures one should take, which age group is suffering from which ailment. So you have a scope for doing a lot of proactive interventions in a long-term basis and have a great impact on the overall health of the state. So two ways. One is, of course, to detect fraudulent bills, and the second one is you will have proactive health strategies, public health strategies. If we have AI for this health data, we have a huge pool of health data, varied health data. We have a variety of people, their genetic makeup will be different. So we'll have a huge data pool, and it's all online.
I think there's three things to mention just quickly. One is on the agriculture. I'm super impressed, and we want to keep helping to push that forward because it's a great model for the country. It's a great model actually for the work we do
Agriculture.
globally.
For sure.
The toilet work, actually I was pretty impressed, the slum upgrading, and how can new technology come in to improve those toilets over time. So we'd love to do more on that. And the final area is actually in UP and Bihar, actually our biggest program is health. Here we haven't done that much in health. So it'd be interesting, given that we've had such a positive relationship on particularly the agricultural stuff, to look at whether sanitation and the latest health thing might be added to the partnership we have.
Okay.
Yeah, the digital platforms you're building are also very interesting. So
Yeah, no,
that's again
the whole
something,
digital thing, I'd say that's the theme of this visit here, is that the digital's going beyond payments, which payments
Yes.
was fundamental, and if you don't have that, you can't do the other things. But, the idea that, that agricultural, the vision, and even the specifics is, it's weird when you walk into that center, you think, am I in a health center? Because I've seen, when we go to MOH, we have that type of, screen and data, and I'm like, wow, this is agriculture, and it's very digital.
We are one of the few states who have doubled the farmers' income.
Right.
Perhaps with all these interventions, we'll be able to triple now.
No, it's impressive that you didn't just pick just education or just slums or just health. It's very impressive.
Sir, you have been an inspiration for the entire world, especially for the youth. Not this present generation, also for future generations. What is that one message, sir, you would like to leave for the youth?
Well, certainly my success is because I love being a student, and I saw that the world is so interesting. And so even though some of the basic studies, it may not be clear, you're investing in yourself, to learn math, to learn science, to read about history. And this is certainly a time where all these digital advances means that good students are going to have an incredible career, both for themselves and to give back, to their community and to the country. So, I would say, pursue your curiosity. The tools you can use now, both individually and in the classroom, have gotten so good that I envy students who are growing up now. They'll be able to learn even more than I did.
So pursue your curiosity. Thanks, sir. You have always been an inspiration. Thank you.